Combat Crunch. What's going on, guys? Jake Boley with BarBend.com, and today we're doing another protein bar review, and we're looking at MusclePharm's Combat Crunch. I apologize for that cringy intro, but I promise this video is going to get a little bit better. Today we're going to be doing a taste test, break down the nutrition, the pros, cons, and look at the texture that come along with this bar. As you can see, we have a ton of flavors here. We have the chocolate cake, the s'mores, the cinnamon twist, the cookies and cream, the white chocolate raspberry, the birthday cake, and of course the chocolate chip cookie dough. So now let's kick off the video with the taste test. I'm gonna do the chocolate chip cookie dough, which is a pretty standard bar flavor across multiple protein bars, and we're gonna look at the birthday cake, which is often a very popular flavor, but not always offered by other companies. So to kick off, let's go chocolate chip cookie dough. So one thing with these bars is that there is a bumped layer on the top. There's a lot of texture. There's an iced layering. The top is very crunchy. It feels almost like similar to like a Rice Krispie treat texture. A lot of bite to it. It's a little chewy. It tastes like an almost less flavorful chocolate chip cookie dough bite. Like, so if you're making cookies or like whatever else you might use this flavoring dough for, it tastes like a little bit of off of that. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of it. It definitely gets the flavor across, but it's not a very sweet flavoring. All in all, I'd probably give this like a 7.5 out of 10 in terms of actually delivering the chocolate chip cookie dough flavor. Now let's move to birthday cake. So I'm usually a fan of birthday cake and other protein bars, so I'm really interested to see how this one does. Cool little texturing at the top here. It looks like some kind of sprinkle or like Rice Krispie like flavoring. Oh wow, this bar is much more dense than the chocolate chip cookie dough. Does it get the birthday cake flavor across? Yes, but not in the way that I would prefer to have my birthday cake. It tastes like almost like a cake that's been like left out on the counter. It's a little bit old. Not the most flavorful birthday cake I've ever tried. That's for sure. The icing does add a little bit of texture, which is cool. There are these little bumps up here, which are like Rice Krispie, like kind of pops of flavor, but all in all, definitely not the best birthday cake flavor I've tried. If you were at a 10-year-old's birthday for, let's say, all day, and then you try a cake after like 4 p.m. after it's been sitting out all day, that's what I'd imagine this tastes like. All in all, I'd give this a 5.5, 6 out of 10 in terms of birthday cake flavoring. All right, so now let's look at the nutrition breakdown that come along with these Combat Crunch bars. In terms of taste, these bars fell short. They excelled in texture, and in one area I think that they do pretty good in is consistent macronutrients and calories. So for all these bars, you can expect to find 210 calories. In terms of macronutrients, there are 7 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein. That's a decent macro profile. If we look at the fiber, there are 12 grams per bar, and then there's 5 grams of sugar and 1 gram of sugar alcohol per bar. In terms of sugar content, I'm not the hugest fan of 5 grams. A lot of bars in the market actually have little to no sugar, so that's kind of an iffy subject for me. Let's look at ingredients of this bar. So it's a pretty long list, bear with me. We have a protein blend, an isomalto oligosaccharide, we have chocolate chunks, we have sugar, almonds, water, soy protein isolate, maltitol, and cocoa. Less than 2% of resistant maltodextrin, salt, soy lecithin, natural flavor, sucralose, vanilla, and tapioca starch. And it contains milk, soy, tree nut, and peanut, and it's manufactured in a plant that processes milk, soy, and tree nuts, wheat, peanut, and egg products. So if you have any kind of allergies to those ingredients at the end I just listed, I would definitely look that up before consuming this bar. In terms of ingredient list, it's definitely on the longer side, and there's sugar in it mentioned multiple times. Not a huge fan of that. So now let's look at the pros that come with this bar. All right, so now let's talk 2 practical pros that come along with the Combat Crunch bar. Number 1 is the consistent calories and macros. If you're on a tight budget in terms of your diet, it's kind of nice that all these flavors are very consistent. You don't have to worry about any kind of variance, and that way if you reach for a different flavor each day, you're gonna know that's consistent across the board. Number 2 is the price. So these bars are priced a little bit less than others in the market. In terms of protein bars as a whole, it's a very minimal difference, but at the end of the day, that's all relative to what they normally cost. So they're somewhat more affordable than other bars in the market. And also I like the consistent macros. So my 2 pros that come along with Combat Crunch. So a few cons that I found with this bar. Number 1, and probably the biggest one for me, is the taste. these bars do not taste consistently good. Some bars taste better than others, but as you can see, like the birthday cake that we did in this video, not so fond of. I would not be eating that bar on a daily basis, basically. But like the chocolate chip cookie dough, it was a pretty good taste. It was a subtle chocolate chip cookie dough taste. I could definitely eat that on a daily basis. All in all, not consistent taste. Number 2 con, the 12 grams of fiber. And these bars kind of upset my stomach after eating them for a long duration of time. So eating them for a couple weeks. And that's gonna be very variable between how you are and how your digestive system is. So it's something to keep in mind, but these bars could cause some digestive discomfort. And then lastly was the sugar content. So 5 grams of sugar in the grand scheme of your whole day isn't the biggest deal, but at the end of the day, these are supposed to be a healthy protein-oriented snack. So 5 grams of sugar can add up, especially if you're already consuming a lot of sugar on a daily basis. So the taste that's not consistent, the 12 grams of fiber and this possible stomach discomfort, and the 5 grams of sugar are my 3 cons that come along with Combat Crunch. So in terms of price, I mentioned this in the pros section, but these bars are a little bit more on the cost efficient side compared to other protein bars on the market. They come around $2.50 to $3.50 per bar, and that's about 25 to 50 cents less than what you'll find with other bars. And that's gonna be really dependent on where you live and what retail outlet you go through. For a box of 4, you can expect to pay around $9 to $10. There's gonna be a little bit of variance there. And then for a box of 12, you can expect to pay $22 to $25. So all in all, is it the biggest price difference? No, it's all gonna be relative. So it is a little bit more on the cost efficient side. That concludes my review of MusclePharm's Combat Crunch protein bar. All in all, I was a fan of the consistent macros and calories, but the taste definitely fell short. If you enjoyed this review, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more protein bar related content.